Welcome back to the Breaker Bros, and tonight we are going to predict the Rams versus Bengals. And I guess starting out, do you have anything that you want to say about the Rams, or
I don't
anything
know.
that concerns you?
Well, I mean, the thing that concerns me is I don't know how they're as good as they are right now because they have a lot of. It's like a combination of they have injuries, but they have salary cap issues, and like their best players on offense. I mean, I haven't really heard of them. I mean, aside from Matt Stafford, but I mean, like their leading receivers, Puka Nakua, Kyron Williams in the backfield. I mean, you know, it seems like they're able to get by with a lot of smoke and mirrors, which, seems kind of like the opposite of the Bengals, which I don't know. I guess I'm just jealous, man. I wish we could do some weird stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can say is it's still early. Like, there's no guarantee that the Rams are going to continue to do what they're doing, or we're going to continue to do what we're doing too. Like, just rewatching the game from Sunday, like I said, like I feel like we were a game earlier than what we were last year, because I didn't feel like the offense really woke up until the Jets game, which I think was the third week. Could be wrong, but it felt like it took a bit longer last year for the offense to kind of like wake up and do what they normally do. So I'm hoping, but then I guess it all depends if Joe Burrow is going to play. I guess there's a lot of speculation that he could sit out this game or for a few weeks, or I've heard even some people reference that potentially he could be going to the IR. But I know the most recent news was pretty encouraging as far as like they haven't seen him like limping around or wearing a boot. And it sounds like he feels better, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Hey man, like I said after the game, they had him running that Theragun all by himself. They should have had a medical professional there to kind of ice him down, or really get into the knots or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just a preference thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, like with respect to Joe Burrow, I just can't go there mentally. I just can't think of him being hurt, missing time. I'm like I'm not in full blown panic mode. I'm a little bit worse than I was on Sunday. But I guess the thing that worries me is I just don't know how the Rams are being as competitive as they are. And I feel like the Bengals should have an advantage. And, they're the favorite home Monday Night Football game. I just don't feel good about it.
Yeah, so I guess different from you. Like I do feel better from Sunday, and now,
That's
like
good,
I said,
I was hoping you would cheer me up. A little bit. So,
a lot of it just depends if Joe Burrow is going to play, and if he's going to be week 1 Joe Burrow or week 2 Joe Burrow. Because like to me, there was a significant difference. Because like week 1, when I watched him play, I was like, man, maybe he was hurt more than what we realized, because like even when he tried to avoid that one sack and he got caught by Garrett in the first week, he just didn't look the same, and then in the second week he showed flashes of like Joe Shiesty and him doing all those moves, and then towards the end of the game you could see where he tweaked it. So like you could tell mentally like he knew that he could only push it so much, but I guess instincts take over, because he had a really good pass. I think it was the last touchdown for the Bengals that was towards T. Higgins in the corner of the end zone, because like he was getting chased back, and he kind of like threw a fade, like he was jumping back and throwing it, and that's like really hard to do, like, and to throw it accurate to the corner, like that's a very impressive throw in my opinion. And it's just like seeing him doing that stuff, and like outside of maybe that one interception, like he was pretty decisive. Like the offense really started to open up in the second half, and like they were really starting to pick apart like some of the zones and a lot of the defensive plays. And I could tell like some of the offensive players, especially like Chase, getting frustrated because it's just like Because when we got the ball on the 50-yard line, right, when they missed that field goal, I instantly thought that we're gonna like at least throw a deep pass on the first play. Just try it out. Because like when you're on the 50, it just seems like we're really automatic. We're either gonna get like a penalty or like a first down or a touchdown. Like.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem.
But it could also
like
be they're
people take
protecting
offense
Joe
to
too,
this.
based off of like knowing that he can't do everything that he normally does. So, but
I guess I don't know, man. It seems like they run a lot of pass plays if they're trying to protect the quarterback.
well, that's what we are. We're a pass first offense, so like the offense will always open other things up first, and I think that's why the losses sting a bit more because it's just so obvious what we're doing wrong, and that's why like.
Mhm.
When we win and we play well, we don't really say anything because it's obviously working. And it's just weird to like look back last year, right? And it was the same thing as this year where we lose the first 2 games, but then we still finished the season 12-4. We only lost 2 more times after that. And it's like, that's really weird to think about. But not to say we're going to do that again this year, which I hope we do. But I don't know. I feel pretty good about this game. Like, it's a game that I think we should win, especially if Joe Burrow is playing.
And upcoming game
a what?
Against the Rams, you mean?
Yeah,
this about the game against the Rams.
Yeah, this week. Yeah. On Monday, or I guess next week, technically. But
yeah, I got the Gambletron up on my screen. So this is some. First of all, we used to do a bunch of 538 like predictions for football games last year. I think it's gone. Can't find it anymore.
The website?
Yeah, it's like it's like a sub website of like ABC News, and it's like 100% political. They like stopped their NFL stuff. I mean, maybe it moves someplace else. I guess if you know, comment down below, right?
That seems kind of suspicious. Maybe it was given too much
know.
Insight, or
well, it's it's probably just a money thing. They probably ran out of money to do like sports plus, because the website never made sense because like they had it on like tied with ESPN, but it was like a political website. But then they're doing sports and politics and on ESPN. The budget cuts are coming, so it's I guess that's the first thing to go is our content, man. But Gambletron's still running, so we'll do that. Gambletron2000.com. It's supposed to be some sort of predictor based on how the betting trends are, which I don't know. Seems like a good way to do it, maybe. So I mean, the Bengals are predicted to win. Right now, they're at a 58% win probability, and it has kind of on the lower. Has it go day by day? So, the odds started off 70% Bengals on the 18th, and now it's gone down to 58%. This is kind of a cool website because if you check it out during the game, it adjusts.
Yeah, it looked like it dipped a lot there.
Or I guess like here.
Yeah. Well, I guess it spiked too because right. I guess so news must have came out about his injury. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird for me to hear all these people saying that he was going to sit so many games. I'm thinking like, I didn't get the impression that they said he would have went back out if they got another possession. So like,
yeah, it's hard for me to be like objective on it because, like I said, I can't let I don't want to go down the path of thinking he's going to miss time, because then I'll be in full blown panic mode, and I'm trying to enjoy a little bit more of the season. So.
Well, if he's not playing and it opens more of the playbook and we're not so predictable and the quarterbacks that's playing can run out of a lot of situations that a hurt Joe Burrow can't, then we might actually be better off. It might actually be one of those situations where.
What? Shut up, Tommy. You think we're going to be better? I get what you're saying.
Assuming that, again, if it's week 1 Joe Burrow, like, because that to me was the thing, was that he just seemed a lot more hurt than what I thought he was, because like he had all that time off between when he got hurt in training camp
Well, in
versus like
hindsight, right, like, if you knew he was gonna play like that, I'd rather them have the backup in there because he didn't do anything anyway, so maybe
right,
a week
but like I
off
said,
would have been
even when
good,
he had
but
to run away, he just like looked different. He just looked he didn't you could tell he was unsure about his leg. Like he didn't want to push it.
mhm,
To whereas like last week he was kind of playing a little bit more normal, and then of course he tweaked it, and it's like, oh gosh. But that just
mhm.
tells me he was probably a lot more hurt than what most people realize, or what a lot of people speculated. Because a lot of people thought he would come back fine week
Yeah,
one.
a lot of people are speculating, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that again, that was another thing, was that there's quite a few people that think that like IR is a possibility. I'm like, well, damn, like,
You're not gonna name names. You're protecting the innocent.
well, I guess James Rapian or whatever his name is.
Okay.
There's, the I want to call him Paul, or I don't think that's his name. There's at least a handful of people that I've seen based off of either their YouTube or like Twitter,
Mhm.
and and I get it because everyone's overly protective because like it's Joe Burrow, and like we all understand the bigger picture, and it's just like
Mhm.
let's not rush it or whatever. But I also think too, it's just I think people are being overly sensitive, maybe because it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's hurt.
It's just like an old guy who goes out and buys like a fancy sports car and then just keeps it parked in his garage and he only takes it outside when it's 70 degrees to wash it and then he
I feel
dies
like that
before he
would
ever
be
drives it.
more of a appropriate analogy if the car had like a oil leak or something small, or like you don't want to like ruin your car, so you keep it protected. You know what I mean?
Burrow's leaking oil.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's a serious injury, but I also think like it's Joe Burrow. Like he knows his body. Like I feel like if he thinks he's good enough, then
Mhm.
he should play. Like you're running. Like no one knew Chubb was gonna get hurt the way he did. Like he was perfectly
Speaking
healthy.
of, I mean, how come the NFL's like burying that? Like how come nobody's talking about how dirty that hit was?
I think some people are talking about how dirty it was,
Okay, because I mean,
but
like, I had to really search to find the replay on it, and then, like, I guess during the broadcast, they're like, "Oh, well, we can't show you. We're not gonna do the replay. That was just so it just looked really bad." And then, like, you watch it in slow motion, and it's just like, I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick just came in like a heat-seeking missile and hit him right on the knee as the
there
guy was being held up.
there should be some type of fine. Like that's the only way you're gonna slow
I
it
mean,
down a
that's
little bit.
insane, isn't it? I mean, it's like, how come it's always that team,
Yeah,
right?
they have a lot
How
of
come it's always
instances.
that guy? How come it's like, what do the Steelers look for in a safety? Somebody will take out other people's best player, you know?
Yeah. Well, but to that point was that he was perfectly healthy going into that play, and like a
Yeah.
freak accident happens.
Well, I mean, it wasn't an accident. It was
Was it a dirty hit? Like unnecessary, yes, but I don't think he anticipated like his whole leg being dislocated and him tearing every single ligament that he has in his knee. Like I don't think he
he's just
expected
trying to
that.
knock him out for the game, or
I think he was just taking him low because he knew he's a much bigger person, and
he took him right on the knee though.
yeah, but like if you're that, I don't know. I've always remembered DBs being like that in football, is because generally DBs are always smaller, so they always go for like the knee, like that area, because when you hit someone that way, it's just so much easier to take him down because just
Well, yeah, because
momentum's
you
gonna
blow up
like
the
topple
knee
them
and they
over.
fall.
But the thing is that his foot got stuck. Like had his foot not get stuck the way it did, he either would have flipped, or like he wouldn't have been as severely hurt the way he was.
I don't
I
know,
don't
man.
discredit
I
that
don't
it
think
was
you hit
probably
people
a
on the
dirty
knee.
hit. Like
Yeah, it was just
I
like
think it
right on
was
the
more
knee.
dirty, like because it was unnecessary. Like the way he came at him, like I think especially when someone was already tackling him, like
Yeah, he was held up,
yeah. So like
so
he could have.
he was not moving when he got hit, and so he could have hit him wherever he wanted, in
And
my
then
opinion. I
same
don't know,
thing, with Aaron
but to me it
Rodgers.
looked
Like
yeah,
no, he was perfectly healthy. No one expected him, and people are gonna get hurt. Like it's part of the game. And
yeah.
are we
I mean,
really in a position where we can go
football's a
0 and
vicious
3?
sport.
I don't know. But like I said, I would be okay with a backup if knowing that it isn't the same Joe Burrow and he's pretty
Well, yeah, I
severely
mean,
injured.
if he's hurt, he shouldn't be playing, but the fact that he's playing makes me think he's not hurt. But
I guess if we had to put a number on it, like if it's 75% or more Joe Burrow, then I'm good. Anything less than 75%, then we should take him out. Because then I think that's really starting to affect his mobility. Then, yeah, then you're definitely risking a more serious injury if he can't, like, protect himself in the sense of just running away.
mm-hmm.
But I think that's why their offense has been the way it's been. Like, he's getting the ball out, 2.2 seconds from the snap, and I think that's done on purpose. Like, they just know he's got to get the ball out quick, and they should have that type of rhythm. And I think they're starting to get it because, like, it seemed like in the second half against the Ravens, like, it was really starting to click. It just at some point it didn't even seem like they could slow us down, but at that point it was already too late into the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it just that was the thing that drove me nuts last year. It always felt like they would have like a half or quarter where they would just not do anything on offense. And like so far this year, it's been 2/3 of the season.
Well, it's been several things too. It's like they get penalties at the wrong time too. Because I remember after the game, based off of what your perception was versus mine, and then rewatching it, I can kind of see where the dysfunction was. Because like we got a first down, huh?
So with me,
We mean with you.
You said dysfunction. I thought you were talking about me. You mean
with the Bengals? Because like you had one perception of why things went wrong, and I had a different perception. But then rewatching it, I could see why we both had, because like that the first drive we throw a pass. It's like a bubble screen to Boyd, and he gets like 7 yards or 6 yards. It's like a good chunk, and then we run the ball the second play, and Mixon gets like 6 yards, first down. It's like, oh, okay, this starts to look a little bit familiar, but it goes back because it's a holding call. And then we try to do like something else, and then we lose that momentum, and it just toppled over from there. And then our second series, it was bad. Oh, that's what it was. We get into like a 3rd and long situation. Burrow throws the pass on the sideline where I rewatched it. It was an even better pass than what I remembered. Like he should have caught that. Like it was like in his chest area, and he just couldn't get his feet down. But it was like a 3rd and long, and we should have converted twice. But just the inability to catch the ball, or someone making a foul that probably was questionable that brought the ball back.
Well, the refs had themselves a game that
game. Yeah, but it's like, and then on top of everything, I think the punt return kind of threw off the momentum too a little bit, because even after the punt return, like you could see the offense starting to move a little bit, and I think it just kind of slowed down.
Like the punt return sparked them, but
not saying it's bad, but I think it hurts the offensive momentum in a little bit, because it's like they never had a rhythm to begin with. Like in the first game or up to that point.
Next time you get there, Charlie, fall down at the 8. Help out the offense. Is that what you
No. He did exactly what he should have done. Because like after that, things start to click a little bit more, and then. But the point I'm trying to make is that because he scored so quickly, like the offense didn't have those snaps to get even more of a rhythm earlier, you know, because like
they're not running a lot of plays. And okay, so the one thing I was thinking about the other day is like, you know, the whole point of not playing people during the preseason is, you know, prevent injury, but it seems like it puts the defense more at risk, right? So it's like not really you're protecting the team from injuries. You're focused on protecting the offense from injury, right? Because you're putting the defense out there for a lot of extra plays. So it's just like the defense is kind of taking the burden for the team, and they've played pretty well. I think for sure well enough to win the first game, and second game. It didn't seem like they were as good the second game as the first game, but still, I guess you know, it's trying to chase after Lamar Jackson. I think it's old, and when you have an offense that can't sustain drives, and then you have to try to tackle Lamar Jackson on like a 3rd and long, that's got to be like the hardest thing ever, you know.
Yeah, no, because like he had a really brilliant play where like it was actually their last drive to end the game. Basically, it was like third and fourth, and we had him covered, and
Hmm.
like because I think the spy was Logan Wilson. And
Yeah.
what Lamar Jackson does, he like runs up to the line like he's gonna like try to run through, and then
Hmm.
Logan Wilson kind of gets caught up on the lineman, and
Hmm.
then what he does is that he kind of bounces out of
Hmm.
Hubbard's like containment, and he's just so fast that like about time they
Yeah.
catch him, he was already 6 yards past the first down, and it's like we had everything
Yeah. I
covered. It
mean,
was just the brilliance of
right.
Lamar, like that's just his natural
Yeah.
ability taking
When
over.
he's playing that good, the offense, can't take a half off.
Well, the
Really put
Bengals
the
in general
defense
just
in
had
a
to be
bad
perfect.
spot.
Like you can't like
Well, I'm not even saying on defense. I'm just saying, you give them, you don't have the ball very much. You give them more opportunity to score on, you know.
well, we've said it
Anyways,
before. It's like we don't. That's the last place we want to be. Is that Lamar Jackson has a ball with more than well, I guess there's a 3 point lead, but just a lead in general. Like that's not a position that you want to be in because like him
right.
himself, he can just run out the clock because like he's
Yeah,
just
I
gonna
mean
turn in
that's the game Baltimore wants to play. They
right.
want to play possession, have Lamar make some plays to win, and then beat you with defense. So, all right.
But
So,
Rams,
okay, let's talk about this Rams game. Okay, so here's the DraftKings odds that I copied. Let's see. Do I need to put it on slideshow? See it better? Bang. So over under, they have it 44. And then the Bengals are favored by 3. So let's see, I'll go first. Because I mean the Rams have scored a lot of points this year. And surprisingly, for I guess the punt return helps, but the Bengals offense hasn't clicked yet. And they haven't hit but they hit the over last week. Um I still don't feel good about it. So I think that it's going to be a decent scoring game. I wouldn't put it as like a high scoring game, and I I'm not gonna pick against the Bengals. I don't feel good about it, so I feel like it's gonna be a nail biter. So let's see, try to think of a score that works. Maybe 27 to wait. How can I get? Can I get 26? No. Let's see. So 17 maybe plus.
I my I say you just go with your gut because like if you think too logically, because there's always something weird that happens in a football game. But yeah, you get to 26. It's like someone could miss a point after a touchdown. Like there's weird things like that that can happen.
Yeah, I like to try to make sense in my head. So I'm gonna process this for a second.
Like you're trying to go with the most common, I guess,
Yes.
scores. But
Uh,
I've noticed literally anything can happen from week to week. So
yeah.
like there's no point of putting that much logic into it. I'm gonna say mine.
Okay, you do yours.
25-19 Bengals. Let's go.
25-19 Bengals.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got
That's like the most impossible score, but I'm going with it because it feels right.
okay. So that would, dude, it's a push on the over under. That's exactly 44, right?
Ah, okay. Well, there you go.
Okay. So and so
Damn.
you you've given up the over under. So you can't, right?
All right, all right. Then 25-18. I'll go that
Okay.
way.
Okay. So you got the under.
I feel like
I
until the
feel that
Bengals actually put up a lot of points, I'm gonna be under a lot. I feel like
yeah. So let's see here. Like I don't think the Bengals are going to cover. So, and oh yeah, and we're doing this accounting for the spread, right?
Yeah.
So like if I say, so I kept wanting to say, so like I want to say like 27, 26 is what I was thinking, something like that. Even though it makes no sense, right? How do you get 26? It's like 2 touchdowns and 4 field goals. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 27, that happens all the time. 3 touchdowns, 2 field
2
goals.
touchdowns
So
and 4 field goals sounds. Or did you say 3 field goals? I guess it's got to be 3, right? No, it's 4. It's 4. Sorry. For some reason, I was thinking
yeah.
field goals were 4 points. But I do
Okay.
kind of like the idea that like if you kick like an extra long field goal, you should add like an additional point. It should be like
What
a
is this? Rock and Jock games?
like a 4-point field goal. Yeah, I think it makes sense. It's weird that like from any as long as it's not a point after a touchdown, anywhere you kick the
But
ball is
doesn't a
3 points. That
touchdown
seems
count
kind of
the
weird,
same no matter where you do it from?
huh? The touchdowns?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing as a touchdown, right? Should a touchdown count for more if you go 99 yards to get it?
I guess that's true.
To me, it's the benefit is that your offense sucked and you couldn't get close enough to making an easy field goal, and your reward is that you got 3 points anyways.
Yeah, but I feel like a 60-yard field goal is significantly harder than like a 30-yard field goal. You know?
Yes.
So you should get more points for it.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Football's boring, man. Yeah, they need to spice it up.
Well, they kind of did that with the point after touchdown too by moving it back a little bit.
I hate that. I hate that rule so much.
Why?
I don't like how it's not the same if you're going for 2. I don't like how you have to say, "Hey, I'm going for 2." Because to me, you take away like the trick play, right? I mean, I know it's rare, but it just seems. I mean, it just seems so like, mechanical. Like, oh, are you going to try to go for 2, or are you going to try to kick the longer field goal, right? And like they did it for excitement, but I mean, I don't want. I mean, I don't care. Like, I don't. Point after touchdown is just whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I would prefer it if they would have moved it closer. How's that?
Closer.
Yeah. So instead of kicking it from the old rule was like it was from the 2, right?
Yeah.
If you want to spice it up, make it from the 1, because now like going for 2 becomes easier. So you're gonna have more people trying for 2 points and more trick plays because like your statistical chances of converting a 2-point conversion go up. So it's gonna entice people to do it more, and
Well,
you're gonna actually see
couldn't you
like a
do
real
that
football.
same thing by just moving it further back?
What?
The point after touchdown?
So like if they go for 2, they have to do it from like the 35.
Yeah. Move it back even further.
That's what I mean. Nobody would do that. You move it closer, then you would go for 2 a lot more. If you want to spice it up, I didn't have a problem with the normal rule. I mean, they're doing it for TV. It's just like they do all this stuff for TV, and then they figure out, oh, if you want people to watch stuff, you want people to watch commercials, you just got to show the football game in like a little box, and then you show like the commercial in a little box next to it, and people will watch it.
Yeah.
So instead of doing all that, they should have just put on commercials during the point after touchdown and called it good.
Would
I
you be
really, I
okay if
really,
they
should
like
be, I
like if
really
you had
should be
different
in charge of
variations
all
for
this
different
stuff.
points? Like say if they put the ball at the 10-yard line, you can convert for like 3 points instead of the 2 points.
Didn't they do that in the XFL?
That might have been an XFL thing.
Yeah. But I should be in charge of this. I got all kinds of ideas. I mean, really, if you want to fix the NFL, what they should do is they should stop putting refs on TV. I know I've said this before, but don't put them on TV. They
Huh.
don't. We don't need to know who they are. We don't even need to see their faces.
The thing that
Like,
kills me the most
just
about it was like
just make it like Madden, where it just like the thing goes on the screen and it tells you there's a flag and it tells you who is on with their picture, and then it just shows you the text, right? Like accept, 1st and 10 from the 35, decline, 2nd and 7 from the 22. You know what I mean?
The thing that
Just
doesn't make sense to me was especially like with the tackle for the Chiefs with the illegal formation.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was so obvious that the dude was so far in the backfield. Like it should have been an obvious penalty, right?
Yeah.
Like the NFL officiating has like overall control in New York or whatever. Because like, don't they have the final say now when they do the replays? Like it's actually being directed by the main officiating hub when they do.
Oh, I'm sure
Well, I think they made the rule change like a few years ago where it's like before in the replays, it was still controlled by the officials on the field.
I'm pretty sure that's how baseball does it. It all goes to like a hub.
Right.
I don't know if the football does it.
But
like
the point
that.
I'm trying to make is that they could easily correct it, the dude lining offside the whole game or an illegal formation. Because, like, if they have that control to, like, basically say who wins the replay, then they could easily tell those people, like, hey, this dude's lining off sides. But they just allowed it the whole game. And, like, it's that type of stuff that, like, to me adds a fuel to the fire where, like, people think it's scripted. Because, like, that was so easily correctable.
To be fair, I don't mean it's scripted. I just think it's fixed.
Scripted, fixed, whatever you want to call it, but not organic or just
like the WWF, right? They just tell you who's going to win. There's still kind of a dance to it,
right?
So,
But like that to me is just like it's just so obvious that they could just easily correct it. They could just because they're already talking to the officials live. They can just be like, hey, this dude's lining offsides.
This goes for everything, in my opinion, right? You need less rules and then just be better at enforcing the less rules, right? But it's like the natural instinct of like any organization to solve a problem by adding rules. It's like, no. Don't add rules. Take away rules, right?
Yeah.
Like here's one I don't like. The whole tuck rule thing, the whole is his arm going forward? Is his arm going backward? No. Forget all that. You don't even need a rule for it, right? Just treat it like anything else, or like just treat it where the ball goes, right? If the quarterback has the ball and it goes forward, incomplete. The quarterback has the ball and it goes sideways or backwards, then it's a lateral, right? Like
you're talking about taking the whole arm motion out of it.
Yeah, the whole arm motion, like, you see like a quarterback, like he's in a car wreck with like the floppy arm. They're like, oh, well, you could see he has control over the ball. It's like he doesn't have control over the ball.
Well, it's like the whole thing with the heel versus toe.
Yeah, it's stupid. They should go to the college rule.
Because
who cares? Move on, right?
Yeah. Well, the point I'm trying to make is that because I remember, I think it was AJ Green. Like he caught the ball with his heels. And like it was his toe and heel. Like he had his heel down, his toe, and then he brought his heel down. Yeah. And because his heel came down, it made it incomplete, which makes no sense. Because like the moment that he had heel and toe, right, that should be that's a catch,
right?
Because he like got those down. But the fact that he continued the process of just stepping, and he put his heel down, and it went out of bounds, it was like incomplete. I'm like, how's that not a catch? Like. How's that any different than
the whole like football move or like the Calvin Johnson?
Well, but how's that any different than if you're like going for a catch right to the sidelines and you drag your toes like when you officially get it, you're inbounds, but your momentum pushes you out and your toes drag across the out of bounds? That's no different.
Yeah,
it's literally the same thing. So like,
I don't know. Maybe because you're going forward and the other way you're going backwards. I don't know. Stupid.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is like they haven't really figured out like how to determine what an official catch is. Like
they're still talking about. They need to just make it simpler, right? If you hold it and one foot touches the ground, that's a catch. It works and it cuts both ways because you're going to get a lot more receiver fumbles because you don't have like the whole football move thing, but then you're going to get more touchdowns and stuff because it's easier to catch the ball. But it goes both ways, right? But it's just like if you make it simpler, you cut out all these judgment calls. Like, why do we presume that like these refs have good judgment, you know?
Well, you're not going to make everyone happy in the grand scheme of things. It's like I understand that, but
Yeah,
they could be a lot more
to me, it's
consistent,
just
though.
like,
Way more consistent.
well, you could be more consistent if you take out judgment calls and you just make a strict rule, you know? Simple.
Well, I mean, it kind of goes back to my overall thought that it is like, let's just call it favoritism. Because scripted is probably not the best word, but it definitely feels like there are emphasis on certain teams to win versus other teams that need to lose. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, somebody commented on the whole punt return touchdown, like that flag. It's like, what was that all about? You throw a flag and it just goes away.
I've seen it more now where like they are picking up flags, to whereas like in the past it seemed like if they threw a flag, it's gonna be a penalty regardless if it was a good call or not.
Right.
It seems like they're more willing to, not call the penalty now.
I'm telling you.
I mean, they still most likely call it, but it's happening more often where they're like, "Oh, no penalty."
The simplest rule I can think of to make football better is don't show the referees on TV. Don't have the guy jogging out to the middle of the field with nobody standing around him, with his tight sleeves and the microphone. Just get rid of it. Just show it on the scoreboard. Everybody, what I mean? Everybody looks at the scoreboard at the game. Just show it on the screen, show it on the scoreboard, move on, right? Show the replay of the foul,
When did they start allowing the refs to like be like on part of the microphone? You know what I mean? Because like it couldn't have been like a thing
like in the 80s.
It had to be like a production thing, like for television, right?
Yeah. But I think we've advanced beyond that in the past 40 years. That we don't need, it's just like everybody, not everybody, but do it the way Madden does it. Just show the thing with the words on the screen and then show the next play. Or just show the guys in the huddle. I mean, it's way more dynamic and interesting than just some random, middle-aged guy standing in the middle of a field, with his...
You leave Ed Hockley out of this, okay?
No, it's not even Ed. It's his son.
His son's doing it now. Okay.
Yeah, it was his kid.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have anything you want to add to this game?
No.
I guess we'll see everyone Monday. We're gonna do a live instant reaction afterwards, or.
Yeah, we should. I was thinking that I couldn't. It would be weird on Sunday because taking Grandma out for her birthday. But then I was like, oh wait, game's on Monday. So
yeah,
we can do it on Monday.
Perfect timing, I guess.
Yeah, she timed it up right.
Speaking of birthdays, isn't it your birthday tomorrow?
Yeah, like a few minutes it will be.
Oh yeah, I guess that's right. Well, it's 10:30 here still, so.
Thanks for doxing me.
Well, no, for the people who are watching, just
off the stream.
Happy birthday. How's that doxing you?
I don't know. They can get my identity theft.
Can't get anything with your birthday. Maybe if they knew the year.
Well, don't say the year then.
I'm not going to say the year.
Don't say the year. But I'm sure we probably said how old I was on one of our old videos.
Yeah, so if you're watching this, definitely go through all of our old videos to see if you can pinpoint when Eric was actually born.
Yeah, I mean, you think it's funny, but I don't think it's funny. We're going to have to blur it out or just zip it out of the...
What do you think you can get with someone's birthday, though? That's what I want to know. Like,
I don't know, probably like credit cards and stuff.
Yeah, but you need more information than just someone's birthday.
I mean, they got a lot of information. We're on the screen and stuff. You're starting to make me nervous.
You're making yourself nervous.
5 minutes of the live stream. Did we end the live stream yet?
No.
Well, we got to end it. We got to end it, and we got to edit this stuff out.
Edit what out? It's your.
Yeah.
So you're okay with telling people's grandma's birthday, but not yours. That just seems weird to me,
Because
man.
that's not her actual birthday.
Okay, but there's still literally nothing you can get out of people's birthday. Like that's just. Otherwise, any famous person would be screwed.
They have teams of people combing the dark web,
No,
deleting their information.
no, you can get literally anyone's birthday. That's famous. But hey, if you wanna edit this, by all means. But I'm gonna end it right now here for you.
All right, and